Hey, what's up? It's Game Pulse.
No,
Keith,
it's not.
it's not. What is it? I don't know what's going on anymore.
It's your tits.
It's my tits. I got you.
I love tits.
I love tits. But yeah, Keith Tyler, and we got special guest Luke here with us. We're gonna talk about next gen consoles.
Today's a very bonerific day. The PlayStation 4 is launched. It's out in the wild. If you can find one.
In the
Good
grass.
luck finding one.
Yeah.
In the tall grass.
So with next gen
Finding a
here, we
library.
thought we would discuss everything. Just a round table
Everything.
discussion about it. And
So who
you
gets
know
speaking, Arthur?
that and the Xbox One launches next week,
Next Friday.
next Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So
And so yeah.
yeah. All right, fine. I'll go.
What do you want to talk about first? Let's just talk about the consoles themselves.
Let's talk about the consoles themselves. I think that, what I really want to see from these consoles is, again, everything everybody wants to see. I want to see games bigger, badder than ever,
Bigger, better, prettier.
ballsier. Better graphics, all that good shit. A lot more to them, like, I don't know.
Meat. More meat.
Just so much more crap in them, and then just good specs. I really like how, especially the Xbox One, they're kind of doing all kinds of stuff where you can do the Snap stuff and you can be on like Twitter or whatever. And then
It's such an American device.
it is.
It lets you be lazier.
You don't even have to pull out your phone or go on the computer. You can just be like Xbox, Twitter, boom, Twitter.
Don't
pops
have
up.
to do anything.
Xbox. Record.
You can Twitter while you game.
And then you can check your fantasy football team, which is something that they showed off. You can watch. You don't even have to turn your Xbox off. You can watch cable.
Yeah, you can just be like Xbox, jerk me off, and then it'll.
Or like if you're watching something, you see a commercial for something you want, but like Xbox, open Amazon or whatever, and it'll shrink your screen, your TV down, and open up Amazon or something.
Awesome. The PS4. I haven't heard too much of stuff like that, but I don't know. I was excited for. I wanted Always Online, and I wanted all that shit. I wanted that, but I guess the American public doesn't know what they want because PlayStation's doing it, but now nobody cares about that. Just because Xbox went out and flat out said they were going to do it. But again, I don't have that ridiculous expectations. I just expect awesome games from here on out. So.
The motion tracking seems like it's what it should have been in the first place.
Oh yeah,
It should have been like this in the first place.
because the Kinect is kind of clunky to use.
The Kinect is entirely clunky.
Yeah. What else?
With the consoles themselves, all the social stuff that they're doing, like streaming to Twitch, the console like records, the PS4 records your last 15 minutes of gameplay. I think that is really, really cool because, I can send a video to Luke and Keith about my character just spinning in circles for 15 minutes and send it to them. and
I can see
it
you
would
doing
be
that
fun.
Yeah.
And all the social features are just, I don't know, they're kind of cool. I'm buying the consoles for games, not for the social features, but I could see them greatly expanding on it, and I'm really, really interested in that Gaikai thing of streaming, old PlayStation titles, and that handles the whole backwards compatibility issue, and that is going to be awesome.
But see, the thing is, like, if you already own the game, how the fuck you gonna play it?
They'll be the only thing.
That's the only thing. But old PS1 games or something, that could be really, really cool and really, really useful. And I heard that the whole thing is going to be kind of set up like Netflix in ways.
Oh, that'd be cool.
In a way that you do certain things. It's kind of like a service in ways. That's going to be awesome.
I also forget about the thing that they're adding, which is like that you can watch people in game.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called. One of my buds in my history class today was talking about it, how he's getting an Xbox One so he can just sit there and he can watch his bud play competitive Madden.
You can
online.
do it with PS4 too.
Oh,
You can
really?
take over someone's game.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't
Yeah,
know about that.
They announced that when they announced.
But see, I don't know
I
a lot
forgot
of the
about
features for the PS4 like that. I know about the Xbox One's
Yeah,
features and stuff
so
like that.
if you're stuck at a part, I could take over your game. somehow. I don't know how it works, but
That's kind of
somehow.
Magic.
And all the little things like suspend and resume, that is just awesome. Like, the 3DS has it where you just, you hit the home screen and then your game is just paused and you can scroll through some stuff and then just go right back to where you picked off. That's cool. Downloading in the background is cool. No longer having to just sit there and wait and stare at a loading screen or a downloading screen. That's not fun.
No.
And all that's just going to be cool. How, they announced it with Call of Duty. If you buy the digital version of Call of Duty, you can choose to download multiplayer or single player first, and you can start literally right away. You don't have to wait. The download stays ahead of you. I just think that stuff is kind of next gen. That couldn't be done with, the PS3 or the Xbox 360. That stuff is cool. It just makes it a lot easier, I think. Yeah, it's cool.
But then again, these consoles have a shit ton more processing power.
Yeah, they have a lot of
They've got
horsepower.
I think each console has like 8 processors in it, or 8 cores anyway.
Something like that.
So
And
Eight
they have
processing cores?
8 gigabytes of RAM.
But
just-
most games only use. I think the most like hardcore games of like next gen are only using like 4.
so it's
far.
got like
Yeah,
It's got processing power.
games
to
on the
spare.
360 run on 512 megabytes.
Yeah.
Put that into perspective.
to where it's 4 gigs to like download like Killzone, or so, how many gigs?
It's
is it?
40 gigs.
It's 40. Oh shit! I forgot. Okay, I was off by
because
a little bit.
these consoles. I mean, if you step back and look at it, they're PCs.
Yes.
They are really simple PCs.
They're trying to become media centers almost. Like this is the center of your
yeah.
everything.
And, a PC download is, 40, 50 gigabytes. So it makes sense. Not every game is that many, but I know like Killzone and Call of Duty are 40 gigabytes each.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy.
Well, they're coming standard with what 500 gig
Yes.
hard drives, and then how much cloud space do you get?
I don't know.
I think it's.
But-
it's not as much.
But if you install everything, you're going to run out of space pretty
Oh, yeah.
fast. That's only like 12 games.
Honestly, like most laptops nowadays are coming with like a terabyte hard drive, which honestly, how hard
It's
would it have
rid-
been to
it's-
fit a
it's
terabyte
ridiculous.
hard drive into one of these
Yeah,
consoles?
I mean, you can get a thumb drive that's fucking terabyte.
yeah.
So
where can I find this, man?
it's somewhere. It's probably really expensive.
China.
China,
Japan.
Japan, no, Japan.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I think all we really care about the most though is the games, and what I want from the games is, that next step, like that things that couldn't be done on the Xbox or the PS3. Like, I don't know. I think Forza 5 is a great example. All
Yeah.
that Drivatar stuff, basically. I mean, I watched a preview of it, and someone tried to explain how the Drivatars work, and I kind of lost them because it was so complicated. It was like it computes the last so and so things from the cloud, and the cloud sends it back. And basically, instead of just racing these bots that are kind of the same every race, you're actually pretty much racing real people.
because they
almost.
act like how.
And it'll make it a lot more intense. Like, yes, I mean, you can change the difficulties to make it, pretty extreme or easy or whatever, but that stuff like that is
Well,
fucking
what that sounds like to me is, they're taking people who have already done these races, and taking their almost like the ghosts
They're
from like
taking-
previous racing games, like the ghost.
almost
You can race
like
your
Ghost,
ghost,
yeah.
and it's kind of like okay, now let's
Yeah,
do
they
this.
take like a small amount of data from you and the cloud computes it and then spits it back out, and that's basically what you race against. Or like things like Titanfall or Destiny that kind of mix single player and multiplayer together. The way they're doing that is
Yeah.
just phenomenal. Or take Dying Light.
Yeah, the other thing that I was
Dying
cool,
Light was
too.
gorgeous.
the other thing that I was looking at was like you were saying how it's this cloud like service. I think another thing that's really cool is like how what game is it? It's I believe like just like how it's one of the next gen games. It's like some things with like Assassin's Creed, they do kind of some of the stuff like that. But I think it's really cool, like the cloud they're like analyzing and making everything a lot more hyper realism is kind of like what they're striving for. Everything's, I mean, hell, EA's whole pitch at E3 was based on actual like living realities.
Pretty much.
In
That,
game.
that's what you kind of hear a lot, too. It's like living worlds, almost.
Yeah, I think it's just that's what I expect from next gen. It's just these hyper realistic things. I mean, we're starting to get to that towards the end of this gen. I mean, how like almost like a fucking actual movie like The Last of Us looks.
Yeah.
But then, like, I also see it, speaking of, like, games like, I remember where I was originally going to go with this, like, Elder Scrolls Online, I don't think would be, like, that game, I don't think would be possible. It may be on the PS3, but definitely not on, like, the 360.
No, definitely not 360.
Like, all of them, those kind of games haven't really fared too well.
And if they made them possible, they would have to sacrifice so much.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
to get it to work.
With things, Final Fantasy, 14, A Realm Reborn, that I don't think that can. One thing, they don't want to have to make separate servers for it on the 360, but I don't think it could run properly on the 360. I mean, the PS3 definitely is better, but I mean, like, next gen, that's opening stuff up like that. Be like you said with the whole thing of it being like a computer. You can actually have almost like a world for people to go into, and I think that opens up a lot.
It seems like nowadays there's a lot fewer console exclusive games than there was for. I mean, they started kind of cross-consoling later in this gen, but early in this gen, Halo, Halo's always been Xbox exclusive and PC exclusive, of course. Yeah. But the Kingdom Hearts series, that was always Sony. That was PS2 exclusive.
I think I see that, but I think they're trying to make up for it. They are. Because of this gen, I feel like there was a lot less exclusives, but then next gen...
they're more expensive to make.
Yeah, but then next gen, I feel like there's been a lot of focus on making new exclusives, yet opening up existing franchises to new people.
New IPs.
Yes.
That's something that I want a lot of, too. I mean, there's certain franchises that I want to continue, like, I don't know, Kingdom Hearts, which is continuing. Borderlands, I want to come back, or just certain franchises like that need to continue, or Sony just announced the new Uncharted, like that's cool, but then I want a lot of new franchises because there was a lot of new franchises this generation that were just.
Well, let's face it, late this generation, it was sequels. It was a sequel.
Oh
fest.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that was the thing, and also it's weird. A lot of new, really good games came out, like. That are like jumping off points, I think, for next gen. The Last of Us, I could see some going to town with that next gen. Think of that.
Last of Us will just be pretty as hell.
Just think about how awesome that game is. And it's PS3, and then just think PS4. Just be like, especially if they don't have to dumb it down to work on PS3. Just think about that.
Yeah. I know, which is why Naughty Dog's just God. Or take Skyrim, take Grand Theft Auto 5. They're already, like, I just don't know how they run on the 360 and PS3. Just take those and just...
I've seen Skyrim on the PC, though.
It'll be mind-blowing. Yeah, it really will. Or, I think even multiplayer can go in a whole new direction. I mean, look at what Battlefield 4 is doing. I mean, that shit is crazy.
32-man team, 64-person multiplayer.
I almost think that with the next Battlefield that they make, like, they should just scrap single-player and just make this godly multiplayer experience. That would be
But imagine how long it'll take to actually connect and get into a game, though.
Well, I mean...
But if lobby size is that huge. But then again... Be like, okay, drop in, drop out. Make it more drop in, drop out, and then when you drop out, make it a bot or whatever. But bots are actually that aren't.
One thing I don't want this generation is stuff like what happens when you're playing like Black Ops 2, like host migration.
Oh yeah,
everything should have dedicated servers. It's 2013.
Honestly, I think it was just Call of Duty. Like nobody else really
being
does
lazy
that.
And want to save money. Maybe I know.
Like everybody else really like use dedicated servers, but that's one of the big things they pushed. They're making more than enough dedicated servers for most games like now, like for next gen. Like for Ghost, they were making. I think they said they're making like 1,000 or a couple thousand because it jumped up to some huge number. Like they had 300 for this gen. There was 300 like. Servers, I think for all of Xbox. That's what I was thinking of. But now they're jumping it up to like, I think it was like 150,000.
I know with the 360 though, like the servers to connect to live, there's 15,000 this generation. There's 300,000.
That's the number that I was thinking. That's the number.
I mean, and that itself will take care of a lot of connectivity issues. Like,
oh yeah.
we had issues just playing certain games with you, Tyler, just because of just people having crappy connections, or when I was at Keith's and trying to play stuff at your house and
this kind
all
of
our shitty connections.
This kind of eliminates that. You kind of piggyback off the dedicated server. And that's really nice. So,
I expect more buttery smoothness.
I expect both Xbox Live and the PlayStation Network to just be a lot more stable. I mean, yeah, the PlayStation Network I've heard has been having a lot of problems, but when you have a couple million people trying to get on at once,
yeah, that's
a little bit of a problem.
Well, that's the same.
All
why
at
GTA
once.
5 had some issues. All these people were like, hey, multiplayer, let's all fucking do it.
Yeah.
I feel like that was one of the things I said about GTA. If they would have just had multiplayer day one, a lot of people would have just played the single player. Then they might have, been a little bit more fine. It would have been more stable.
They wouldn't have crashed servers.
But then, I like how they're changing the online services now.
Right.
Like, Xbox, you can have, what is it, is it 1,000 friends now? Or, more than that, probably now?
I forget for Xbox. I know for PlayStation 4 you can have 2,000.
I think it's 1,000 friends, but then you can actually, follow people, on Twitter. So, without actually being friends with them, you can, just follow whatever the hell do. So instead of for I guess that's more for people who are popular. If you were from Machinima or Rooster Teeth, you can have your friends. But
or
then,
IGN or
all
any
those
of those
people.
people, yeah.
So I just see lots of great things coming next year.
What is the friend limit for this gen anyway?
I think it's 100.
100.
It's 100.
I mean, nowhere even close to that. So
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll beat you guys at 2,000 friends.
Race is on.
challenge accepted, sir.
What console are you guys going to get first?
Unless by some stroke of miracle, I get an Xbox One, I will probably get a PS4.
Yeah, unless by some miracle I hit the lottery, in which case I will get both.
Or because I don't know
If you have one console to
PS4.
choose.
Ooh, damn. If I had
Forever?
one console to choose forever, in that case I might go Xbox One just because a lot of the games that I really, really, really want to play are cross-gen, and then I get Halo and Gears of War. But just because it's cheaper and I will get most of the experiences that I want, I will get PS4 first.
Yeah, I'm definitely PS4 first.
I want to get a PS4 first because I can get a lot of cross-gen titles, and then I can get 50 million exclusives that they put out.
Yeah,
I
that's the
mean,
great thing.
That's the best thing.
Like Xbox late this gen, with the whole free games with gold, you're only getting 2 games a month.
And then there's
PlayStation Plus, you're getting a stupid
Right.
amount every month. And then with this Gaikai stuff,
I mean, Halo and Gears of War are some of my favorite franchises.
But that's about it.
But if I can get a ton more exclusives, then yeah, I'll go with that. And, the PlayStation Network is so much better. It's probably equaling Xbox Live now, and
Yeah.
it just seems better.
well, and then Sony just totally kicked Microsoft's ass at every expo.
Yeah, that's true. But, I mean, I'm not saying the Xbox One's bad. It seems...
Like I said, I'll probably eventually get an Xbox
It's
One.
Yeah.
too pricey, and I like PlayStation a little bit better.
Yeah.
Out of all the games that have been announced, just the ones that have been announced for next gen, what do you guys want the most? If you could just pick one next gen game that's been announced, hasn't been announced, not rumored.
I'm going to go, and I'm not going to say Kingdom Hearts 3 just because it's almost predictable at this point.
Yeah.
I will say, next gen, my most anticipated game is probably Destiny.
You know what?
In that sense. It's
I was
Destiny.
actually I was gonna say that myself. I was like, if I'm not gonna pick Kingdom Hearts 3, it's gonna be Destiny because it's looking like it's gonna be an MMO, and then that trailer we just watched
It's awesome.
with the sliding onto the freaking rocket and then just blasting.
Destiny
down the face
just
of the map.
seem like you can get hundreds of hours out of, and that's why I want Destiny the most.
That's why I think this is why Bungie has gone dark for so long. They have been putting everything.
Ever
they
since,
have.
But
ever
there's
since 2011.
If you think of just the amount of cool stuff coming out, just
There's so
early
much.
next year,
Black
it's
Flag,
mind-blowing.
seamless ship to shore gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Order 1887, or 86. I'm
86.
really, really excited for that game.
I'm stoked to play the Division.
Outlast. I would really want to play Outlast on a console.
But
Dying
there's
Light
there's
looks
something
gorgeous.
else. There's that infamous Second Son, which looks cool. Thief looks cool.
Rise looks
Rise.
beautiful.
That's
It's beautiful violence.
I might try out. I know a lot of people are stoked for, but Metal Gear Solid 5 in the spring of 2014, I know a lot of people are excited for. Last question. if there's one game that you want on next gen that has not been announced yet, what is it?
Next game, a game that has not been announced. I can probably think about this, and I think I know the answer to this. I would really next gen game that I would love to see is I would love to see like it's not even really a game; it's a group of games. I would love to see any of the Valve Infamous 3s. You know,
Yeah.
Team Fortress 3, Half-Life 3, Portal 3, Left 4 Dead 3. Any of those games, I'd be happy if they got announced.
I'd like to see the sequel to Arkham City come out next gen. And if they can do it right, because they kind of did, Gearbox did kind of leave that cliffhanger at the end of Borderlands 2. I'd like to see some sort of Borderlands experience, but done right. Make it Borderlands.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I want Borderlands 3 so bad because they kind of did leave a cliffhanger, and I can't say it because Keith hasn't beat the game.
God damn it!
I know,
but they opened the doors at the end for so many things, and I just feel that if they could just next gen with the new power and stuff, they could just blow the fuck out of everything.
it'll be blown.
It will be.
I wouldn't need another game at all. I almost don't need another game with it now. I pry myself away from it because I know it's all up to that.
Yeah. Which we need to sit down and get Keith through.
Damn it.
So,
Because I've almost powered Sneaky through.
I don't know.
yeah.
So yeah, next gen.
Next
So-
gen,
or technically, I guess now current gen.
it's here. It's
here,
awesome.
It's upon us.
We'll have PS4s hopefully
By spring, or at least sometime in spring.
spring, summer next year, something like that, and we can do lots of cool stuff.
Yay.
Yay!